Section 5, bracket 3B of the Constitution of the PDP, the PDP empower me to summon and preside over party meeting in the absence of national chairman. In the absence of national chairman. 2, our attention has been drawn to yesterday evening court order, which purportedly restrained our national chairman, which is secondus, from summoning presiding over meetings of the national organ of the party. Okay. It's not more making. Yes. 3, in the foregoing circumstance, as the Deputy National Chairman South, which is number 1 of the People's Democratic Party, after due consultation and in the exercise of aforesaid power, hereby deeming fit and proper to postpone the National Working Committee meeting earlier scheduled for today till further notice to allow broader consultation in the overall interest of our party.
We're changing gears now to politics. Just when we thought all was beginning to get settled within the People's Democratic Party, then we saw the rumblings that started again. It started with court ruling in Port Harcourt, injunctions that came from the court, removing the national chairman, embattled national chairman Uche Secondos as the chairman of the party. And then we have now seen the deputy national chairman South and the deputy national chairman North saying that they are now the recognized, each one of them claiming to be the chairman of the party. So what exactly, or the acting national chairman of the party, what exactly is going on within the ranks of the PDP, and will they be able to come out of it? We have with us this morning our guest who is joining us from Ondo State. He is Dr. Eddie Olafeso, former zonal chairman, PDP Southwest. Dr. Olafeso, welcome to Sunrise Daily this morning.
Thank you, Margaret. Nice having you.
We didn't think that we'll be having you back so soon. It was just a couple of weeks ago we spoke with you, just when the rumblings were getting rather loud, but we found out that the Board of Trustees, the BOT of the party, it would seem, was able to reach a compromise of sorts. But it's not yet 2 weeks, and it would seem that the compromise has fallen apart. What has happened?
Quite frankly, Margaret, thank you very much for this morning, but I'll continue to return as many times as possible if it is to throw light on what is going on and to ensure that we guide whatever we're doing at the People's Democratic Party to a very successful national convention come December. It is as strange to you as it is to so many of the party leaders out here, since nobody has broken the arrangement, the consensus reached during the BOT Governors Forum, National Assembly extended caucus meeting in Abuja. And then suddenly this came from Port Harcourt. You know, the strange part of this is that you line up the local government, the state and the ward, you know, at the same time to suspend somebody without, you know, the knowledge of the party leaders, both at the national level and even in the state. So it's very worrisome. Having listened to your program this morning with Commander Kunle Olawumi, and the existential challenge that is facing Nigeria today, it is so unfortunate that this is exactly what we'll be discussing at this moment. But be that as it may, politics is a process, and we must find answers to some of these challenges. We need one another. Remember, my opening remark when I came about 2 weeks ago is that restraint and calmness and working together can actually bring us to a position where our party will begin to redefine this unfortunate nation that you have listened to carefully from Commander Kunle Olawumi, and all of us can work together. For me, they have failed to adhere to the constitution of the party because I don't think there's a jostle between the Deputy National Chairman South and Senator Nassif, because he is conscious of the fact that 35.3, Section 35.3 of our Constitution stipulates who is in charge. And thank God, Elder Yemi Akiwumi has actually taken his place and is doing exactly what needed to be done. He has called off the National Working Committee in order for him to continue to discuss and consult further on what the party needed to do. October deadline was given. Nobody has broken any rule, and that this won't come. But I know fully well that this too shall pass, because in politics, it's always like this, resolving, issues and coming together to talk about it. I am confident, like I told you within the last 2 weeks, that we shall overcome, and that we will go through and, get into a very successful national convention that will bring about new leadership that will prepare the party for the 2023 presidential election.
I love your optimism. Some people say politicians are, I think it's Chamberlain who says that politicians are always optimistic. But when you look at what is on the ground right now, the questions as to whether there's cause for your optimism this morning. You say that you haven't seen the breach or anything that has breached the agreements that they had on the ground. But then there were questions as to, I think this was predicted in some of the papers was it predicted now or reported in some of the papers just last week that it would seem that the agreement that they had was falling apart. And just when that story was reported, we saw the national chairman, then national chairman, because you also seem to be referring to him in past tense now, visiting former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta. And there were questions as to what he was doing there. This was just after it was said that it was said that the agreement was being reneged upon. What exactly was going on then?
He has absolute right to consult. President Chekondo is the longest serving national chairman of the party, apart from devoting about 3 decades of his life in party administration. It's not a tea party. This man, was given an instruction to prepare for the convention, and October was given to him as deadline. I don't know what has happened between now and then, apart from, some of our people still not trying to understand the fact that what is happening now is beyond any individual. It is an existential problem with our country. With the position of Comrade Kule Olawumi this morning and a lot of those who spoke, and your incisive questioning of the situation, aren't we afraid that unless the opposition takes this matter seriously, we might not, get to the end of these issues with our country, as quickly as possible? For me, visiting President Obasanjo by Presuchi Chekondo is not, I don't think he has broken any laws of the land, nor the constitution of the of the party. What is on ground is, individuals that are, looking for an opportunity to have, to have some undue advantage at the National Convention. It is always normal that the National Working Committee will present to the National Executive Committee the processes and that will lead to the convention, and that's what they should be allowed to do. At this moment, Markwe, that we already put out the timetable for about 11 states that are yet to do their own congresses. These people are going to be represented at the National Convention, and unless these are completed, how can you go into the National Convention? So, realistically speaking, there are certain issues that needed to be addressed before we jump into the National Convention Committee that the National Working Committee needed to address. As at this moment, as I'm speaking with you, nobody has come to tell us that this is what Prince, which is Ikondu's did. An individual cannot make a party. And all of us must look at the face in the mirror and begin to judge one another in a way that will give some certain realistic burden of responsibility to us to do what is right by the party and the Nigerian people. For me, this is not necessary. The pain that our people are going through that has been expressed this morning on your program is adequate for us to wake up. to jump into this and do something for Nigeria. Our green passport is a sign of disgrace wherever you go, and we're not thinking about that. This is the most blessed country, on this planet Earth, and yet look at how far we have gone. I know fully well with the takeover of Elder Yemi Akinwumi.
Dr. Olafeso, let me bring you back to the issues we're discussing. You talked about how there was nothing wrong with him going to see General Obasanjo or former President Obasanjo, that he was consulting. Consultations with regards to what precisely? Do you have an idea?
Quite frankly, the former president hold the A's when it comes to the leadership of this party. And if somebody and they even wrote, openly while they were there, they were talking about Nigeria. And the president said, well, we have bad situation, but they are not irredeemable. So they have actually let you into the inside of their discussion. And I don't think it's criminal for a sitting national chairman to consult with the former president. And the truth is that, 47(1) of our constitution, which is eligibility to contest for second term, is still there. It cannot be denied, except somebody is found, guilty of any criminal offense against the party and the country. He still has the right to consult. So I don't think that should be the issue, Maokwe. Let us be sincere with ourselves. I'm not taking you away from our discussion. I'm just saying
that he was consulting with regards to a second term. Is that what you're saying?
No, I did not say that. I said they were discussing Nigeria. And President Obasanjo himself, and I know he's credible enough, said that Uche Secondus did not come to him to discuss about PDP politics, but about the survival of Nigeria. Aren't I equally worried about the situation in this country? So if he goes to see former President Obasanjo, I don't think there is a crime in that.
Let me flip this to my colleagues now.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mark. Dr. Olafeso, I'm still trying to understand, where you stand. You seem to agree that Elder Akinwumi was right to step in, as it were. You also
absolutely
referring to Mr. Secondus. Yeah, you also seem to be referring to Mr. Secondus as still the national chairman of the party. But I'd like to take you up on this one. You were quoted as saying that this Agbero approach in trying to remove the national chairman will not work in one of the dailies, and you went on to say it has never happened before. So when you say this Agbero approach, I imagine you refer to, you mean Agbero in terms of it's rough, it's not right. Yes, so who are you referring to as the Agbero? Are you saying the court's order or the people that approached the court? What is Agbero about this exactly?
What is Agbero about this is the fact that, you see, if you're a member of a party, your guiding, beacon is the constitution of the party. And the constitution is clear as to how an officer can be punished. And, if you're not adhering to the constitution of the party and you're just weaving some yarns to be able to, achieve that, it's a cut and nail, slash and burn that I call Agbero attitude. And be that as it may, as a leader, we must ensure that we stick to the constitution of the party. I just mentioned 47(1). I just mentioned, 35(3). Those, sections of the party, and 59(3) too. If somebody erred and you want him punished, you must go within the defined lines of the Constitution.
I understand the Constitution of your party, but I'm saying specifically, pardon me, that, this people approached the court. The court gave an order, and you say that this is an Agbero style. So I'm asking that, is it the court order that is Agbero of sorts? Is it the people? What is Agbero exactly? Who are the Agberos? Let me just say that.
Cannot be. Yes, this cannot be. It cannot be the court. I have absolute respect for the judiciary, and that's what exactly President Secondus did. He gave way to Elder Yemi Akinwumi to take charge as the deputy national chairman South, who by constitution has a right. And I'm glad that Senator Nassif did not contend the fact that Elder Akinwumi should take over since the court said that Prince Uche Secondus cannot act for now. So, you know, the Agbero part of it is that what is the offense of this man? That in one single swoop, local government, ward, local government, and state will, you know, suspend him without even any recourse to the National Working Committee or the National Executive Council, and then he's suspended from the party. That is the Agbero part. And the honest truth is that we can walk through this to a meaningful reconciliation and, you know, come together for the short part in view of the emotional situation and the tragic, things that is happening in our country today. So for me, you know, we can't do that. We must respect our constitution and do it accordingly. Elder Akinwumi came and has respected the constitution and has taken time. And Senator Nassif since yesterday must be working, if all is equal, with Elder Akinwumi at this moment to bring an answer to when the National Working Committee will call NEC committee, and all of us can sit together on the table of brotherhood to resolve this. Remember, we are not each other's enemies to the point that we cannot talk to one another. These challenges are normal in any human society for you to disagree. But I know, like Bawukwe said, well, one is unrepentant, optimistic, but that's the truth. We are not enemies, and we owe it a duty, not only to ourselves or to this country, to make our party stronger at this critical moment and a defining moment of its history. So that is what I mentioned yesterday when I spoke with the nation, you know, that please, no matter what you're going to do as a member of the party, you have rights, and others have their rights too, within the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Constitution of the PDP, that you must go through the processes before decisions are taken. I know for sure that because of the land, we eventually unravel this and we will move on in this journey.
But you know, Dr. Olafeso, I mean, when you say that this has happened before, but we saw the impact it had on the party, because this, again, will definitely impact on the party, perhaps notwithstanding the provisions of your party constitution, which you talked about, Chapter 10, on the disciplinary procedures. But given the egos that are involved in this, do you actually see this being sorted as soon as possible? Because right now, can there still be NEC as scheduled? Because clearly it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
These too shall pass. And I understand what you mean when you said, you know, huge egos are into play. But the truth is that something must temper our attitude, our behavior to our country. Nobody is happy as a Nigerian today. Be you governor, be you senator, be you anybody, be you journalist. A time there was, this country was honored and respected. But what was left of us, isn't that enough tonic to actually realign and rearrange our thinking? Why must it be self? Unless we begin to think about one another, this will not work. But what I can assure you is that now that Elder Akinwumi, you know, has taken over yesterday, let's allow him a couple of hours time to see what he will do. And I'm sure he will arrive at that conclusion where NEC will be called and there will be solution to this. I am very, very confident that this too shall pass. And I kept on saying it. If we have given an assignment to somebody for 4 years and the person is trying to round up the bench to complete his tenure, you have two options: to wait through his tenure and then come up with saying that he has done very well or he has not done very well. And you have your choice to make, to vote for the person and not to vote for the person. The National Working Committee that has been in place for the last 4 years went through harrowing experiences. I cited an example when Bawukwe challenged me that our party has not done enough as an opposition party. And I said, I have never seen a sleepless human being like Olabode Okola that has spent all his entire life making press releases. And this moment must be captured by all of us Nigerians, that we cannot leave the issue of opposition to a party. We must oppose bad governance. We must oppose bad civil society. That commander spoke extensively I was taken aback with such a noble Nigerian that they are still alive and they are still contributing. For me, what is going on?
Dr. Olafeso, we have to thank you.
Dr. Nkemi, okay.
We have to thank you for joining us this morning. We hope, well, you said you're happy to come back here as many times as we wish to bring you back, if it's for the betterment, you know, of the country. So we hope to see you again sometime soon. Hopefully, the issues within your party would have been resolved then. But thank you so much for joining us on our program this morning. Dr. Eddie Olafeso is the former zonal chairman, PDP Southwest, and he's joined us via Zoom from Akure in Ondo State this morning.